Today I'm going to do a review of Mailshake, which is a simple solution for cold emails. I've been using this wonderful program for almost a year. I signed up in November 2017 and I'm recording this at the end of September 2018. So I've done a fair bit of projects, campaigns with Mailshake, and I have a pretty solid understanding of how the tool works, its pros and its cons, and everything. So stay with me for this review, and I'm going to talk about it from my perspective, which is a link building perspective. Yeah, so if you are considering Mailshake for your link building, then this is definitely the review that you want to see. If you want to use Mailshake for something else, well, stick with me. You might be interested in some bits like deliverability of emails. So, some stuff like this applies to everybody. So I am going to show you what the page looks like now because I want to show you where Mailshake came from and where it's probably going. So this is what's on the website right now. You can see there is a ton of different options. They've got all sorts of tracking, A/B tests, and going forward, I think this feature is kind of worthless, conversion tracking and everything. And the price right now is $29 a month. And Mailshake came to $29 a month from a very modest price and back in the day. And I actually found this page for you in archive. So this is what Mailshake used to look like on the 4th of April 2017. I'm just going to scroll away all the way down. See, it says 9 per month per user. Yeah, and now it's 29. And I'm personally paying $19 a month, which is the price I signed up for it in November 2017. So you can see that the prices for Mailshake are going up. So it is still likely to stay within this cost-effective solutions for outreach, but the price is definitely going up. And I'm going to show you what you can do about it going forward. So Mailshake, we are going to jump right into it right now. Here I am. And the reason I'm actually doing this review is because I'm about to cancel my subscription with Mailshake because I signed up for something that's a lot more powerful, in my opinion. A lot, maybe not so a lot powerful, but it definitely is more suitable for me, which is Pitchbox, and we use it a lot for our link building campaigns and for different clients. It just makes the work look nicer. And I'm going to drive you through the dashboard. And so yeah, so when this grandfathering occurred, yeah, so basically when they put the prices up, they gave everybody free pro features for quite some time. I think it was almost like 3 months. And to be honest, I didn't like these pro features. It's like A/B testing. I mean, I don't understand what's the point of A/B testing when you cannot like control certain factors all the time. In order to properly A/B test, for example, you need to know, like, you need to have absolute same sample. You need to send things at the exact same time, and you cannot do A/B test in real life, so it's kind of useless. You can think, oh yeah, my copy is better, but it's actually time of the day that's different, or a person's, I don't know, maybe like the air pressure is different. That's why a person feels different, and that's why they check your email, not because it's your copy or something. So I don't understand this. Yeah, so it's got a bunch of features in the dashboard, and now we're going to go to campaigns. So, and this is going to be blurred because I have loads of campaigns for different clients, and I don't want to show them here. I didn't ask for their permission. So anyway, and as you can see, each individual line, yeah, it has this is a number of people in the campaign. Yeah, so this is the number of people that you send emails to. This is the amount of templates you have for each campaign. So say if it's 2, it means that there is an initial email and then there's one follow-up. And if it's 3, so if it's 3, then it's 1 initial email and 2 follow-ups. So this is what it says here. Then the sent number, so this is the total number of emails that were sent. This is the total number of replies. This is the number of opens. This is bounces. Yeah, and this is who the campaign was created by. So in this case, that's me. And if so, this brings me to this point, and I know lots of link builders using Mailshake. The problem with Mailshake here is that you cannot divide these campaigns between clients. Yeah, so you literally have different clients all kind of thrown into this one spot. And it's good if you have like maybe 1, 2, 3 clients, maybe that's all right. But if you have more than that, you definitely don't, it's definitely not going to work. It's not the best way to um, organize your workflow. Um, so next we are going to, oh yeah, the send in calendar. I'm gonna skip the lead catcher because I really don't understand this tool. It's apparently like you can tell Mailshake, give it some parameters and say, oh, what is a lead, and then it's going to basically um, do some sort of tracking or whatever. I really don't understand this. It makes no sense to me. Maybe maybe it's for somebody else, not for link builders, but makes no sense to me. And send in calendar is, yeah, you basically set up the send in calendar, and you can see here I have 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is Berlin time, and I say send no more than 300 emails per day. And you can have like spaces between email blasts. So say send at least 15 emails at a time, send at most 20 emails at a time. So we get send between 15 20 emails at a time, and then pause 34 minutes between sends, so that we can kind of help, um, we can make it easier for us to send these emails and like do not get our inbox like spammed or flagged right away by Google, so it doesn't end up in spam emails or the emails start bouncing. Next come the mail accounts, and this is exactly the part that I was talking about when I was saying, yeah, per user pricing. Yeah, so if you sign up with Mailshake, for every user, say you have more than one team member, you are going to have to pay 29 more dollars a month. And as you can imagine, if you have five, then it's already over $100. And then if it's already more than $100, why the hell don't you use like Pitchbox or something? So my so the workaround here is that you can add an alias. Yeah, so once you click here, you can add alias, and basically you would have one Gmail account, and everything would get sent into that. So you have to set up forwarding as well from different inboxes, and then you will also have to set up the aliases in your main Gmail account, in your master inbox where all the emails get flooded. And this is a bit of a pain in the ass, especially if you have many clients. You would end up with all your emails in one inbox, and then when you start checking them, there's this you check them, and then it gets checked somewhere else. So it also takes a bit of time for the setup. It's not hard, but it's just extra work. So but this is how you can get this for free. So as you can see, I have a bunch of email accounts here, and I only pay for one user. So this is like the workaround you can do. Next comes team settings, which are not really applicable to me because I have just my own kind of operations here. Then it has some extensions. Yeah, it's got some integrations with Google Sheets. I've never tried them because they're like with Zapier as well, and I never got my head around it up until recently. So I haven't looked into the in more detail, but there are some integrations you can definitely try. And yeah, so that's about it. And for now, I'm going to show you how to actually create a campaign so that I can show you how it all works. And so when you create a campaign, basically it's like, okay, new campaign, and then you can change the name of it, test campaign. And then you've got a from address, and this is the address where all the emails will get sent from. So I'll leave my primary email here, but usually it's the client's email or whichever website you're doing outreach for. Then you click next, and here's where you have to like import a CSV file, or you can choose one, or you can just type emails here. You can just paste the emails here. Of course, you would want to have a CSV file because you can include columns like name, um, last name, all these merge fields, which Mailshake uses for personalization. And for now, I am going to can I? I'm curious if I can have my. I'm going to include my other email here, and then there's a name list. It pops up, and then basically Mailshake is asking me whether I would be interested to do the list clean. And this is a third-party service provided by Voila Norbert. This is like a fairly recent thing they started doing. Um, Basically, the problem with the lists, yeah, when we collect them, we are not sure that some of the emails are good and how good they are. So in order to not have any bounces or really reduce the amount, like the probability of an email bounce, and as more emails get bounced from the inbox, the more problems you're likely to have with Google, up to like getting your account flagged as spam. So you really want to clean the list. So they started doing this with Walla Norbert. I kind of I did it a bunch of times. The problem is that it really, once you start cleaning, you have, like, say you start with 100 emails, and then you run the Walla Norbert, and then it tells you that like 30 of those are definitely negative, like definitely red. Then there are like maybe, yeah, another 30, and then the 30 and then the 40 that are left, they're like green. So you have like significantly less leads at the end of the day. And I'm not exactly sure about its if how what's the story with false positives there as well with Novola Norbert. So it's like, if you really are sure where the emails come from, then you don't need to use it. Otherwise, I'd still recommend using it, So that's the point. And the credits are not refundable, credits to be charged. I think I'm gonna run this one just to show you how this works. So it starts cleaning basically, and then there is checking one recipient, and meantime, okay, so yeah, it says okay because I know it's my email. Okay, so cool. And here's where the email subject will go. Yeah, and you can see the A/B test then is here, and I think this is still here because I've got this premium feature trial thing, which I absolutely hate. So, but anyway, here goes the subject, and I'm curious if you can actually. I know you can't. So the subject of the email is whatever you got in mind. So we have test, test, and then you have a bunch of fields to use. You can insert certain fields here. So, and if you import a CSV file with many different what you call them, with many different headers, they will all show up here as well. So this is probably the least amount of options I ever had. So for example, you can use the first name, and then it asks you to insert the replacement, and you can say there is a typical one. And so for example, when you say hi, and if there is a name, it will use Dave. So when you imported your CSV and then you got names included, you will they like Dave, for example, will appear there, if Dave is on your CSV file. So you actually have to look for those yourself, so Mailshake doesn't do any search for you. So, and then you just write something just so this, and then you also have your signature automatically added by Mailshake down below, so you don't have to include anything else. So this was the first email, and then you can add a follow-up. And what's cool about it here is that you can set up a specific number of days after the initial email. So in this case, it's 5, and usually that's what this little real-time analysis tool recommends that you have. But we know from the same from I think it was Mailshake's blog, they were like, if you don't get an answer for your email in the same day, like 90% chance that you will not get it. So you have to follow up. So we don't really like to wait a lot. So we say 3 days unless we receive a reply. You don't need to change anything here. So, and this is a reply chain. So Mailshake replies in the same thread. Yes, follows up in the same thread. So if there is no response, they follow up in the same thread, which is really cool in a way that you don't have to copy paste the previous email. So you can just say, haven't heard of you, or haven't heard from you. Oops. from you, and still would love to, for example, and still would love to, and the stupid smiley face at the end. So, and then it will literally have this first email with our initial pitch or whatever you were saying there. And then this is a follow up. They will immediately know who the hell is this guy. Then you can add another follow up and another follow up and another follow up. This is actually pretty cool. The problem here is that you are probably going to burn your contact a lot. So I never recommend following up with like more than twice, and this is like the absolute maximum these days. Up until maybe, I don't know, maybe some other markets I'm not aware of, they do crazy ton of follow-ups or whatever, but I really don't recommend going more than two, because at the end of the day it's people on the other side. If they don't like what you have, they're probably not gonna like, why are you bombarding them? Then you have a couple of other options which I've never actually used. You can set up drip campaigns as well. So the difference between follow-up and drips is that they drips continue even if you receive a follow-up. Yeah. So in this scenario, if we get a follow, if we get a reply, sorry, not follow-up, if we get a reply. In this case, if we get a reply from this guy after first email, then he won't see the follow-up. And with the drip, it actually still sends the follow-up. So essentially, if you do drip campaign, this is like as if you were on, I don't know, like Mailchimp or something, you know. So here you don't really care. It's like they're subscribed to your feed, and then you're basically like sending this to them. I never use drips because in link building we don't do it like this. We need a reply and actually have a communication with them, so we don't use drips. And then there's add on click as well, this little feature here, and this is pretty cool. So you can tell Mailshake, okay, if the person clicks something, then send them this email. You know, say this is, I also never used it because I think it's a whole new way of like communicating, which you have to kind of get your head around. But it's kind of cool. Imagine like you click on something and then you get immediately follow up and say, oh man, thank you for checking it out. You know, how'd you like it? So the person is like, oh, they can reply right away. So it's probably a really cool feature. The problem I can see with this is that for a click to be like, for the Mailshake to see click, it must track clicks, and you know, tracking is another kind of problem, which really, like, if you track things, it really affects deliverability, you know. So it can create problems if you track certain things. But for now, we are going to skip to basically finish it, and I'm going to click next and show you what comes next. Here is where the personalization comes in, and it's pretty cool because you can literally check out the person again, and sometimes if there was a name, it would appear here. So my name would be like, hi Artem, it would be here. And then you can actually go and write something like, I really liked your previous post about link building. Link building. So, and you would do this by, say, by looking at their page. So, you know, so you don't have to kind of personalize beforehand. You can add additional personalization to whatever the template already has included. And here's the follow-up. It's here as well. And yeah, so you can try reloading if something doesn't show up. You can also send a test email, which is awesome. I always send test emails because it can look here, it can look fine, but then you send a test email, like, Jesus Christ, what's that? Looks so fake. So we always do this. And so I'm gonna click next now. So everything is fine here. And now this is a really important part. So tweak your campaign, tweak how your campaign will be sent. And these two bits, yeah, you see, track opens and track link clicks. So if you track these things, yes, you have pretty good metrics, which are arguably not very, they're also not very, like, I mean, it's cool to have some metrics, you know, you can show some reports and stuff, but in reality is that these reports, these trackings, they're really like estimates. So, you know, if a person, say, opens your email twice, then the trigger is probably gonna work twice as well, you know. So then you already have your report skewed with this one person, and if it happens more than once with different people, well, you can imagine. And the next bit, I've already mentioned that it's the deliverability. Yeah, so if you track things, Google can tell, you know. So recently we started turning this off for Mailshake, and when I moved to Pitchbox, I actually was surprised to find that the guys do not track any of this. They don't track link clicks, they don't track opens, because all they care about is getting your email delivered. And you know, if people reply, well, good. You know, the more people see it, good. You know, so it's not the reports I really care about. They've another way of tracking things, but it's that's the difference, you know, here. And then you can also schedule the send. And this is, for example, you don't want to start the outreach campaign now, so you can set up for tomorrow. And here's your lead capture I also mentioned. So, and I'm not going to get into it. And then it basically, then Mailshake asks you, oh man, are you not going to spam? And then you're like, yeah, of course I'm not going to spam. And you're not, you know. So don't get me wrong, we don't spam people. We ask them for their replies, and if they don't reply back, we do not send them more emails. So oops, oh, that's a scheduled date, sorry, I have to turn this off. Once you click next, you have your synchronization going, and then you have a bunch of options to check here again. So it shows you from address. Here's a sending account. In this case, it's the same. So usually it can, if you have more, like if you have a client, you're doing it for somebody else's website, you would have your account's name here, and the from address will be there as well. Then you got recipients, and yeah, here's the messages. And then all you need is just click start button. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go back now. So this was Mailshake. Um, Again, I really like the tool. I mean, it's great for the price. Even at $29 a month, it still is a good option if you need some kind of a front end. Yeah, so if for I'm talking to people that are considering GMS as an outreach tool. So if you're looking for front end and some pretty cool functionality, like Mailshake is really awesome. It is, for the price, it's the best option for the price. It has its yeah, so they started doing the grandfathering thing with prices, so the price gone up, but still it's a great option. What I do not like something specifically about this? Yes, it's the way the campaigns are organized, and I think it's I don't know, it's probably quite easy to fix as well, so it shouldn't be a big problem. So, shall you go with Mailshake for your link building? Yes, absolutely. Definitely start with that, and maybe you will be just using this. Yeah. Final note. I was talking to a bunch of link builders, and there were like people were saying that it takes a while to actually warm up the email. You know, every time you sign up a new client, it takes a while to warm up their first email, because guys were saying that you start getting some bounces. And there were some, I'm not a techie, so I'm just going to say this, they were talking about some SMTP whatever. I'm like, again, I'm not a techie, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But the thing is that they were saying, like, people were in touch with Mailshake support, and they were saying that they are dealing with this issue, and that the solution is kind of around the corner. So you can really speed things up a bit. So for any one of you like thinking of sending like 1,000 emails a day, this should be good news, and hopefully it will be out there really fast for any Mailshake user. So again, if you're considering to do if you're considering to use Mailshake for link building for yourself, go for it. If you need it for a small bunch of clients, it's a good starting solution, and then probably will upgrade to Pitchbox at some stage because it offers a lot more functionality. I hope this review has been helpful. Leave me any questions down below if you need to, and I would appreciate you liking this one and share it around if you need to. Thank you very much. Artem, Links Hero.